Welcome back to another EX production. Ever wanted to know the background story in which Breakout, Joyful Noise was written? Well, in this episode, you'll meet Kia Hines, one of the founding partners of Exquisite Expressions, LLC. We will feature a snippet from Kia's Corner, a vlog in which she dives into a personal story inspiring the story of joy. Check it out.
I hope I'm doing pretty good so far. In today's vlog, I wanted to talk about a project that my company, Exquisite Expressions LLC, created. The project is called Breakout. The first part is titled Joyful Noise. Check out this clip.
Come take a ride through the frames of my life.
I just can't do this anymore.
Left turn, around the curve,
Where's
turn,
Mommy?
right,
What did I tell you about embarrassment?
okay, slow,
Joy, why don't you
slow. I got a story to tell, but in just looking, nah, you can't know.
I know you hollow girls aren't, for lack of a better term, refined.
I got a story to tell, but in just looking,
Bothered.
nah,
Extremely bothered.
you can't know.
Wow, Joy, look at you.
It's not an ordinary place.
Look at me.
Oh, she's horrible.
You and the higher ups had your way of thinking. There was and is a greater plan at work here.
Seen the paper this morning?
Enough is enough. Breakout Joyful Noise centers around a young woman named Joy Jameson. Joy lives in the town called Release with her father and works at a high-end fashion boutique. However, she struggles with self-esteem and identity. She is ridiculed for not fitting in and has to make a choice to either sink or swim. This story touches on her struggle to be the epitome of what society says she should be, or embrace who God created her to be. This story hits close to home because it is my story, one that I am still dealing with. So, let's get into the real story behind Breakout Joyful Noise. Breakout Joyful Noise was birthed out of anger, pain, and frustration. I am well aware that not everyone responds to adversity the same way. But in many cases, words hurt, and they can have a lasting effect. My skin is not as tough as I thought it was. Only recently, because of things strangers have said about my body, did I realize how internally I was not strong enough to simply ignore. It seems you have to find resolve within yourself in order to overcome what you may face. And that is where I am in the journey, finding resolve within myself. But where do I find resolve? Was it in a song? Was it in a movie? Was it in a one-on-one conversation with a friend or family member? Was it in an article? I tried all these avenues that I thought could work for me. It wasn't until I had to sit with myself and cry. Cry because I didn't know exactly how to deal with this and couldn't understand why. I couldn't understand why these experiences kept hitting me to the core. In that moment, I was led to pick up my Bible and read Psalm 139. I had to go to the words of the one who knew me best. My Creator, God. That meant I had to push aside whatever ideals I thought were sustaining my self-esteem and find a firm foundation. It became clear that I didn't have one. As I read the psalm, I realized that God made me. He knew exactly what he was doing. There was no mistake in his creation of me or anyone else. I soon realized my self-confidence had been rooted in things that were not solid. There were only so many affirmations that could get me through. God's word broke the ice, and slowly I unraveled. I realized that whatever is the accepted norm of beauty, and judging a person based on that is wrong. And before I sat there focusing on who spewed the verbal darts, I had to look at myself and found out why I even cared, and why it was affecting me. Yes, sure we can say, oh, that's just the way the world is, grow tougher skin. But does that really work? Does it get to the root? I wrote this story to share my experience in a storytelling way and having to find truth in God's Word. Though the story is not an exact account of my experiences, it does touch on the fact that in today's society, we can be really mean when judging a person based on what they look like, where they come from, etc. I realized how body shaming is a real thing in today's culture. It doesn't happen just on the playground. It's everywhere, and no one is exempt from it. So I wondered, do I just let it ride? Or do I say something about it? I mean, who doesn't get talked about? Shouldn't you just suck it up and move forward? These options weighed heavily on me, and I struggled with what to do. As you can see, I decided to create a storyline about it to express how I felt in hopes that it could speak to someone out there and even spark dialogue. For those who have overcome something like this, hats off to you for your journey. I sincerely ask for your prayers as I continue dealing. For those who are battling, you are not alone. I will continue praying for you as I ask that you pray for me. And if you can't do anything else, I encourage you to take your tears and frustration and release them to God. If you need a reminder of how treasured you are, read Psalm 139. Nothing happens overnight, and I ask that God helps us all no matter what we are battling. I am not perfect, and sometimes it takes things like this to look at yourself internally and simply deal with what is there. I wish makeup could cover up the invisible face that is there, but unfortunately, that cannot happen. I realize God will take you through a season of pruning. I believe that's where I am today, and I look forward to how I can grow out of this season. Please feel free to comment your thoughts on this video. If you have words of encouragement to share with someone battling with self-esteem, don't hesitate to share a good word or your story of overcoming. You never know who you can help. Thank you all for your time, and I hope this video encouraged someone to know that they are enough and beautiful just the way they are.
Wow, isn't that beautiful? We are enough and beautiful, just the way we are. Thank you, Kia, for sharing your story and allowing it to inspire and encourage others along this same journey. By the way, meet Shonda James, a co-founder of Exquisite Expressions, the human behind the Avatar video blog you just watched, and the voice and story behind Joy Jameson of BREAKOUT, Joyful Noise. To catch more of BREAKOUT, check out www.dynastytelevisionmediaportal.com or visit our website www.exquisiteexpressions.com for airing details. And until next time, we will see you later.